Started in a few seconds. Hello, Anchorman. Yeah, just one second. I'll be ready to start. Just setting everything up. All right. I think everything should be working. All right, everything's good. Just confirm in lecture hall chat if possible. Good to me. All right, sounds all right. I'm gonna my mic a little closer. Okay. Welcome to Process. As many of you are aware, this is the first map you were supposed to learn this week, and some people might miss reviews and everything, so I'm here to go over it again, and then also have this for the records for anyone new coming into this. So this is process. This is process F12 actually. So if anyone wants to go practice this, you just go map underscore process and then underscore F12. That's the version we plan. I will be looking in the lecture hall chat for any questions. Feel free to ping me if you do have a question. I don't see it, but I guess we can get started. All right. So first thing I do want to mention is we're gonna go with all of the callouts. I'm gonna start on red last, and we're gonna slowly work. What HUD? Default HUD. Yeah, I know. Stock. I have stock everything, so my weapons are huge. All right, we're gonna start from here on our last red. So first thing is this is just spawn the entire area, right shutter, right spawn, left spawn, and then you come outside. You got point right there, and then all of these different doorways. You got 5 different doorways. They're all based off numbers. So this would be 1. This is 2, or rollout if you want to call it rollout. This is 3. This is 4, and this is 5. Behind us we have heaven. So since it's our side, this would be right heaven is up here. This would be left heaven. In between here is nest. And then on the outside, this little rim area you can stand on, which a lot of soldiers will do. This is rim. Self-explanatory. And then back here is also another spot you should be aware of. I think it's dispenser spot, Euro spot. Those are the main spots really on this map. Now, going out, we have lobby over here. This entire area is lobby. And then you have upper lobby up here just on the stairs. And then this doorway down here, this is lower lobby. Another thing to mention, I'll go over hiding spots later, but this is boiler spot if someone calls out boiler spot. I'll show that off later. And then we're coming out to second here. So the main reason we call these doorways by numbers is because there's 2 giant numbers by these 2 doors, so we just continue the pattern. So that's why 3, 4, and 5 are here, despite having no numbers. So that's why you have 1. If people are playing by here, it's still called 1. If people are playing up here in this area by the giant 2, it's called 2. Original versus stock is just preference. I like it for just rocket placement, but that's like a soldier general class thing. You can try to maintain it over, or try to maintain questions relating to the map, but I'm happy to answer anything. Alright, so yeah, this is the second point. So over here is your forward spawn. This will happen if your team owns the mid, you'll spawn here, or if the enemy team owns the mid, they'll spawn at their forward spawn here. And then we got all our areas. This is point, concrete, platform. A lot of people have different things for it. Points usually up here. I always call this area stairs, just because this area, stairs. And then, concrete, platform, grass, valley, whatever you want to call it. And then this area over here, this is IT. You have upper IT, which is mostly this area entirely up here. It'll be most of this, all of this, including this room back here. You can also call this connector if you want, but most people know this is upper IT. And then you have lower IT here, and then main IT, which is just IT. If you say IT, most people will assume this area or in here too. Lower IT means pretty deep here, and then upper IT means this area up here. And then over here we have sewers. Midnight. There's something called callouts.tf, which should have all the callouts listed. It should also do top down too as well, but you just have to find that. I'm sure there's also reviews too of the map on YouTube. You can always look up process callouts. And then we have sewers. This entire building is called sewers. There's no other designation. And then this area right here, of course, the classic name of Al-Qaeda. A lot of people also call this hallway or alley, but most people will refer to this as Al-Qaeda. And then right here is also pipe. This is another thing. And then another spot is trapezoid. I've heard it called pizza sometimes too. No relation to me, but I feel like mentioning that. And then this is choke right here. I think there is still callouts.tf. I'm pretty sure there is something. I can, if someone wants to get a link to it, it's like a Google Drive folder or something with all the maps listed on it. You just have to find which one you look for. So I know I looked it up a few days ago. And then we're going into mid. So mid to choke. You also have sewers door here. You have IT coming out here. This is rock. Is my mic good? Yes, I'm talking right now, unless I'm not supposed to be, but I'm pretty sure I am. So yeah, this is rock, small rock, and then these are normally red crate, blue crate, and then point again for this. You really don't have a designation for like this area here. This is still like IT. Main thing to know is this is Seagull right here on these roofs to the side. This one over here too. Sewer roof is another spot to look down for. Otherwise, there's small rock as well as another designation, and then there's death corners, which is here, and then all the way over here. And that's basically the entire. That should be every call out. So I missed any. I guess real quick, I will go over hiding spots because I'm a rat and I like using hiding spots. There's not that many on this mid. The main ones most people will be using will be Seagull to hide in this corner here, or on sewer roof to watch when your team comes through choke. They'll hide there. Otherwise, there's not really many here. There's two in sewers. A lot of people use this corner here. If the other team has mid and you're hiding in your own sewers, which means you're second, you can hide in this corner, and then as they walk in, you can catch them off guard. Sometimes people hide on top of these barrels right here too. This is another spot. If it's your second and you're holding, or if it's their second and you're just sneaked into sewers, and imagine this is blue second for a second. I'm on the red team. You can go into sewers, hide in this little corner right here, and most of the time they'll walk in, not even see you. I will go over class positions later. I'm kind of just doing callouts at the moment and then hiding spots, and then I'll go over rollouts, mid fights, and then everything else, which will be everywhere people stand in situations of Uber or what to be doing. And then there is a spot up here in this corner here. Let me just turn no clip off. I'll jump around for a second. A lot of times scouts will hide in this corner right here. Just be aware of this as you walk in because you cannot see this spot at all. And then, as I mentioned, boiler early on, you can hide in this thing. And a lot of people will not check this. This is something good to clear. I don't think you can get up higher than this, but this is something noted to clear. And then another spot is all the way over here, which is by these big boiler tanks. If you don't clear 5, you will most likely miss this person if they hide here, and they can just sneak it back out. That's kind of all the hiding spots I'm aware of. You can kind of make your own, like, you can think, oh, this corner might be special to hide in. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I 1 health, so 1. Flank spots. I mean, these basically are the flank spots. These are kind of just rat spots you can kind of hide in. IT has this one here, but it's kind of bad. Everyone really checks it. You can hide in the sink if it's not your IT. And then everyone knows about these spot on the computer console, and then you can get up on this little thing right here too and catch people off guard. That's basically all the hiding spots, so we're going to go over rollouts now, which means I will jump back. I'm hoping everybody does no heal order, but just to clarify everything, the medic's first priority is to heal demo, get demo to 260, let the demo do a static jump, and heal demo again back to 260 after his first jump. So I can showcase that now. I have a 12 button that lets me do this. It will put a timer up, unfortunately, but demo will do a static jump. Try to get to this doorway as close as he can. Not too far though. He wants his medic to rebeam him. Don't want to go too far that your medic can't hit you again with their beam. So typically try to get in like this doorway range. Try not to go too far past it, and try not to go too far forward, just in case the medic can't reach you. And then a lot of people do different variations. Some people do a crouch debt, which I'm bad at it, but that gets you to that ramp over there. What I typically do is I always go off of this wall, and I strafe up that. This pack is yours as demo, and then because I'm weak on health, then your second jump is just a straight shot all the way over here, and then you surf through that. Make sure while you're doing that, you'll charge a sticky and you'll shoot it usually at the enemy demo. But I'll do that really quickly now, so just to show you what I'm talking about. Except don't mess up the trimp there. And then that's usually your roll at mid. Then I got soldiers. It's a little different. So each of your soldiers, pocket soldier is pretty simple. You do 2 static jumps usually. Gets you close to this door. I'm gonna reset it so you get as close to this door as possible. So you'll be put about right here. Then you start walking. Do this, and then you're gonna hold out your escape plan. Pretend this is escape plan. I don't have it equipped. You're gonna keep walking with your escape plan. Alright, when you get to this rock here, you're going to go ahead and start reloading your rockets. Keep walking in a straight line and just wait till your medic to arrow you. Once you get arrowed, you can turn around and start walking. But standing still is just the best way so the medic does not miss the arrow and you get delayed to mid. And then once you're at mid, you can go do pocket soldier stuff. Roamers get a more fun rollout, or more fun in my terms. But basically you're walking most of the way until you get to the normal spot where the soldiers jump off of, which is this, off this. Now, if you're good enough, which I'll see if I am, you can go far, but I messed up that. You can go pretty far, and that's usually what you do. You do the 2 pogos off that, and then you can try to trim through choke and get really far, either on their demo pack or shove sewers. Of course, I'm on shotgun, so all my health is just gone still. But like that, you can go all the way here, steal the demos pack, and then jump out, or land all the way by sewers. And then scouts and medic, it's pretty simple. Medic does the heal order as usual, and then on the rest of the rollout, you just walk with your scouts. Do not build on rollout at all. Make sure you don't build with your basher. Just walk. Do not jump at all. Keep walking. Try to get over to the side more, like by these rocks, because your pocket soldier is going to be like right here, a little ahead of you. You don't want to block the arrow. You don't want to be fat. You want to make sure you get out of the way. So I normally like, try to jump around the rocks a little bit, just to make sure I don't block the soldier arrow. And then usually your P-Scout plays up top and your flank scout does flank things. And then again, the medic will walk with the scouts. Normally, again, by rocks, normally is when I'll arrow the soldier, and then full buff the soldier back to 300, and you'll get to mid. Is it better to jump to the bridge between... You could, flank scout can do that, but again, you need to have the taxi with your scout. So your flank scout can jump up top if he wants to. Pretty sure you can do it without it too, yeah. But normally you still want you want to taxi your med a little bit further. So no, even when I'm playing pocket scout, I want to taxi my med as close to the pocket soldier as possible. But you can totally, if you're flank scout, you can totally just evade it by jumping up top. Alright. We're gonna get some mid fights, but I guess I'll be on scout for this. Alright. So this is process mid. It's symmetrical, and there's 2 ways of playing this out. Either A, you're gonna stay by your rock and play your side of the map and just kind of play confrontational. They're gonna fight you. Or you can play this map rotational, where you can rotate around one of the 2 sides. So if I'm on red team, normally your demo or your main caller is gonna call. Normally demo calls this, but your main caller can also do it too, depending on what he wants to do at the mid. Demo usually calls it because he's the first one into mid. He can see what's going on. But when your main caller comes in, they can say rotate left, which is rotating around here, and then rotate right, which is rotating all the way here to try to fight them here. And you also have to be prepared for the enemy team to do that. You can call it the enemy team's rotating left or enemy team's rotating right. But the other way is playing confrontational, where you kind of just sit here, kind of exchange spam, try to take control of height, and either A, you get picks enough to bully them out of the mid fight, or B, you just take so much space and you can bully them out of the mid fight that way. It's going to be on soldiers to make my life a little easier. So, normally with the mid fight demos, exchange spam, your soldiers will most likely be trying to play height. So your pocket soldier, typically as pocket soldier, I try to jump up here, try to spot a little bit, get some cheap damage here. But most of the time, your soldiers want to be over here. They want to be controlling the height, fighting anyone on their height, and then raining hell down if they can control it. Now, this is also good for a rotate. When you do rotate, you want to make sure your flank and your pocket soldier has control of the height. That way, you're not going to get bombed on. Like, if the enemy team is rotating left or rotating around left crates, the red crates, your soldiers can jump up here and just start raining spam down on them if they wanted to, or they can fully commit to bombing by just landing on top over here to death corner. This is pretty important to have one of your scouts up top just to make sure that doesn't happen and make sure your soldiers there too. That way you can kind of bully them with the rotate. And again, same way for both sides. You want to be... What's the counter? Scout, I mean, they'll be faster, but you'll be around... Everyone gets to mid around the same time. That's kind of the bet. What do you follow? You'll be following your... Okay, so first off, answering Tycho's question. I mean, as Scout... Let me just impulse myself real quick so I have rockets. Sorry. So, I mean, as Scout, you can jump up to rock, you can play here. Most flank scouts will jump onto rock and then go onto this thing right here and just kind of play chip here. Just kind of controlling space. You don't really have to be too aggressive. You just kind of got to play passively. Let them come into you, let them jump into you, which is a bad thing for soldiers. Soldiers never want to jump into a scout. It's loving arms. So normally, if the demo is focusing energy looking at you up top, that means like the lower half is also very free. So your entire team could also run through the lower. Your demo could poke a little bit more aggressive lower, which is typically a bad thing. Crossing this line as demo is not good, but I'll get to demo in a bit. I think that answered your question, Tycho. If I didn't, you can clarify a little bit more, and I'll come back to it. And then words. So Medic's job for mid-fights is typically to heal whoever's needed, but most of the time you'll be sticking with your pocket scout and your demo, and then arrowing whoever else you need to arrow. Which most people will call for arrows. If you do call for an arrow, please stand still. It'll make your medic's life so much easier. And then call where you are, like arrow by small rock, arrow on height. It's good. Not really bleeder. I'm going over soldier right now. I can do scouts in a second, but soldiers again, just try to take height. And then there's also bombing. Bombing is not really that common on this map because it's kind of open. It's really not like good walls to go off of. You have a lot of shots where you can kind of just pogo off stuff and kind of land on their choke if they're over there. If you're a soldier who wants to get into Seagull, you can chill up here, you can kind of play spam here, but then you also have the sign wall here, so you can go off. If I was good at the game. I don't play soldier, but you can go off this wall here and kind of boost yourself over to them and hit a sync on them, and a medic or a combo if they're rotating that way. You can kind of do the same just on the floor without having to go up. You can kind of just go off this wall, and you can kind of just go wherever. But that's normally people bomb. Most people don't bomb at all this mid unless, you know, they're up a pick and they're trying to catch somebody off guard. I'm gonna switch to scout real quick just to illustrate if I can change class. So what I mean, yeah, most P scouts will be chilling up here. The medic will be sitting right around here somewhere, in between the demo and the P scout, trying to chill here. Your flank scout will probably run over here. Really, you want to just play chip here. You can kind of aggress if your soldiers want to like bomb across to their height, and you can kind of take space here. Or you can try to fight if they're taking their height because they're rotating their right, I guess, or rotating left side from your perspective. You can kind of chip them out or try to force them in. You can also go behind them and wrap here if you need to do something. And then another thing to do is you can also shove behind them. A lot of soldiers can do this too. They can shove behind. Make sure you do calm if you're shoving behind, because you want to coordinate with your team when you're doing a pinch to that when you're coming in for this, you can pinch. Your team is pushing in and you're coming from behind. That also works if your roamer soldier fast bombs into their sewer. You know, they'll send a player to deal with them. Normally that's your flank scout's job, so if the enemy team's soldier goes fast into your sewer, I know I'm on the wrong side, but they fast bomb your sewer, your demo calls it out. Like, it's your job to start looking at this guy. You're managing the flank, you're making sure he cannot get behind your team and will just nuke everybody. So normally you can kind of chase them, or you can kind of just chill behind, but you don't want to give up yourself too much pressure, because your scouts are really useful just for denying soldiers and keeping control of height. So if there's a guy in sewers, you gotta just kind of backpedal and deal with him. Move on to demo in a second. Try to... It's rock spawn. Oh, let's do this. So demos on mid, you have basically two things to do. Your main job is controlling height a little bit, but you're mostly just going to be trying to make sure they can't walk across for free. That should be your job, to make sure they can't cross the point, but it's also your soldier's job up top to make sure they don't walk across. Otherwise, controlling their side of the height. So you see how, like, you know, most scouts I showed you would jump up to this little slanted roof right here. That's your job to really look at. Demos, okay, so Tycho, just to clarify, demos should always be the first ones mid. Unless your demo is really slow. Most demos are first to mid, and then they'll witness a soldier coming at Mach 4 into their face, and they might die to him. So scouts will come later, but usually, if they get height, that's kind of also your demo's job to bully them off of it. Like, I'm normally, when you're doing demo rollout, you're walking here. When you get about here, you'll usually see a soldier fast bomb in your face if you get the rollout fast enough. In which case, you know, you either have to predict a sticky or you have to kite away. Yes, yeah, okay, answering Watt's question, yeah. Your P-Scout should always be the job taxiing the medic. If the medic dies, your P-Scout should always go back. So if you win the mid-fight 5 and they wipe completely, but you lose your medic, your P-Scout should still go back, while the rest of your team should walk forward and leave your flank scout to capture mid. So your P-Scout would go back to the forward spawn. That's just a good rule of thumb. Whenever your medic dies, your P-Scout or one of your scouts should be always taxiing your medic. That way you just have a reliable way of building. Somebody should always be by your medic. You don't want to... I've seen teams go past where they leave their medic at forward spawn and the medic has to walk all the way by themselves, and you lose about like 30 ad because of that. So that's just a good rule of thumb. Your main goal of flank scout is to watch the flank. It's kind of that. Your job is not to kill medics. You can kill medics, sure, you can kill anybody, but your job is to manage the flank along with your roamer and coordinate with the roamer to shove flanks. And then also coordinate with your team about how you're going to shove flanks. But you can get behind them, you can do a lot of things, but you don't want to be, usually if you're defending, you don't want to be the aggression. You don't want to be aggressive. Unless you're really confident you can take a fight, which some scouts are, some scouts are better. But really, you just want to be managing the flank, making sure they don't get through, or they can't flank you. I'll go over that later when I talk about holding mid, but trying to get back on topic to demos. Demos will be holding, trying to sticky up top here, trying to control this space. Normally, I'll chuck like 2 stickies up here, kind of either A, leave it, or chuck some stickies up there. No, again, most of the time you gotta get used to the arcs, because look at that, 2 perfect ones, but 1 here is gonna be kind of useless. So that catches any scouts trying to catch up there. But as demo, this is literally the height you can easily spam from below, because it's perfect distance for your dead time. On a rotate, your demo is usually trying to chill, but the main thing is this corner. This is a corner you can't do anything, because as demo, you have no sight lines at all. So if you're low on ammo, take this corner while you're taking it while you're moving across it. Take this time to reload sticks, reload pipes. Make sure you're ready, because as soon as you collapse here, you need to get ready to fight them, because either A, they meet you, or B, they rotate around you. But if their team is kind of... When there will be class videos? Class videos will be announced later. By the way, if you're talking in classroom chat, I can't see anything. Please use the lecture hall chat if you can. But all classes will have general classes later on. Hopefully next week. I don't know when Egan's going to schedule those. But those will be announced hopefully in a week or 2. Or maybe next week. They might get spread out a little bit. I don't know. But yeah, as demo, if you can catch them, if they're really overextended, like they're trying to rotate, but you guys like destroy them and they have to start rotating out, you can chuck stickies all the way over here and just trying to trap them out, but don't dead. I'm sure demo talk will go over like why not deading stickies is pretty useful, but I'm just trying to cover maps. If you do decide to meet them, your demo is going to be the one trying to do as much as you can. So if they rotate left, your demo cover stickies like that. Just arc stickies in the air. They'll fall down. They'll cover like most of this area. They can't walk up here at all. If they do try to walk up here, they just eat the stickies. Your job as demo is just to keep them in death corner as long as possible, so that, and then call that. Hey, the medic's in death corner, their combo's death corner. Call that. Your soldiers, that's when you bomb a soldier. When you know the medic's in this area here, that's when your instinct to soldier is to just feed for it. Because most of the time you'll get a bunch of damage. You'll get a bunch of damage and you'll kill people. That or your team can just janitor clean up. When it comes to pushing, is it better to sticky spam or place traps on their exit? You can kind of do it both ways. I kind of, going back on the topic of, rotating left here, then trying to catch them as they're leaving with stickies like that. I think leaving stickies is probably the best option. That way, you're going to get more damage, and also will slow them down. Because if an enemy team is trying to leave and they see like 3 stickies there, they're either going to have to chill for a second, wait for someone to clear them, or walk into them and eat 3 stickies. So sticky spam is usually not better. Unless you're like in a distance where sticky spam is going to work, where you're catching them like that. Usually, for demo, how fast do you expect them to be at mid? I'll get to that in a second, but yeah, Tycho, normally, if you want it, it's going to be a trap thing. Again, I'm sure they'll go over more of it in demo guides, or the demo general class, but that's typically what you do. And then for demo, how fast do you expect them to be at mid? Always expect the enemy demo to be just as fast as you, and try to predict that. Like, as soon as you're going to rotate up here, you want to have a sticky already over there. So like, don't shoot where they are. Shoot where they're going to be in like the next 5 seconds. Try to deny them their pack. But a lot of times, roamers will come flying at your face if the roamer is good enough, and will either land up here or land on your face. In which case, if they land on your face, you got a good shot of probably just getting murdered immediately if you don't get the pack fast enough. Or you can try to surf out, maybe hit him on a pipe, but you kind of just want to live and prioritize your life. Their team should fall up a little bit later on. Always expect you guys to be of equal like speed. If you start realizing that they're slower, their classes you should always expect in this map. Standard 6 classes: 2 scouts, 2 soldiers, 1 demo, 1 mid. I don't think we're not really teaching off classes really that much. So if a team decides to off class, they're losing out on a lot, and you can kind of take advantage of that. How many classes? I've done basically every mid fight except medic. Medic is kind of just follow your team. I'm not the best at medic, so I really can't help you too much there. But it's kind of following your team, arrowing who needs arrows, and then trying to just survive as much as possible by surfing out of rockets and bombs. I believe that is everything for mid, at least for the classes. Again, I'm not the best at medic, so I could be wrong about a lot of stuff. But medic, again, you're sitting here healing your demo most of the time, healing your scouts, getting your soldiers buffed, making sure your team is healthy enough to control height, making sure people are arrowed properly. But also, you need to keep your eyes up on the sky, because if a soldier just tries to bomb at you, you need to walk over. Okay, I'm going to also clarify at midnight. Off-classing, yeah, it's very situational. Most time you'll see off-classes is last holds. Sometimes teams might try to be funny and try to run a sniper to mid. It's usually a terrible idea, because you just lose out on the movement of classes. Walk over, okay. I know my term is very vague, sorry about that, but like, it's really hard to demonstrate too, because I don't have another person on this map, but you basically, your main go-to of getting out of situations is trying to get through choke. You want to leave choke as much as you can. So if a soldier is coming in your face as medic, you want to surf their rocket, try to get out through choke. You can surf off the pipe, you can do a bunch of surfing, or strafing to get out of there, but you want to just get... A soldier is bombing. Will there be practice? Practice is the scrims. If you play in a scrim, most of the time you will see that, and you'll get bombed. You'll just have to start getting used to it. I'm pretty sure there's some maps you can find out where, like, surfing practice is medic. I'm sure there's something somewhere. I would not have it again. I'm not a medic player. Okay, Tycho, yeah, well, don't worry, Tycho. I'm going to get over all the holding positions first. I just wanted to go over mid-fight, but I'm going to ask anyone has any more mid-fight questions. I'm going to move over to holds in a second, if anyone's got any more mid-fight questions.
Mission ends in 60 seconds.
All right. I'm assuming nothing else, so I'm going to go ahead and we're going to discuss last holds. So, last holds, we're going to start on our side first, and we're going to work all the way through to their side. So, last hold. We're going to start with demo, because that's the class I play the most. So, last hold, this is going to be disad. Disad, you're going to be playing up here with your combo. So, your medic's going to be up here, your pocket scout's going to be up here. They're going to be building. Your job as demo, have 5 stickies on the point. Your entire job on last is to control this point. Usually that's 5 stickies. You can put more on if you want, but a good rule of thumb is I've always used 5 stickies on point and 3 on another doorway. So if you want to trap 1 or something, you can put 3 stickies up there, kind of rotate here and just make sure nothing happens. If they use... And then usually your P scout, everyone will be up here. Your flank scout will be... I'm gonna switch off demo, just make my life easier, sorry. But your flank scout will try to be around here, either A with the gun. Gun here on disad, it's not that bad. It kind of stays out of the sight line, but it's easily spammable from 5. Otherwise, you can put a funny gun in the corner here, try to get a gun in the right spot. Normal gun spot is right here, but we'll get over that when we go to evens. But your flank scout's going to be here. Your soldiers can be a little bit aggressive, a little bit closer, trying to watch the doors. As soon as they see like any sign of danger, your roamer will play here. Your pocket will most likely play over here. As soon as you see any sign of danger, like they're going to come in and use in your face, you need to jump out and survive. You are like one of the most valuable classes for Ubers or post fights, because your job is entirely to bomb the point if they get on it. So let me just hurt me. So say if they start walking through one, you can get a little spam on them, but as soon as you see them use, you need to jump out. Except not like that, because I'm bad. Like jump out, either rotate all the way over here, get into left heaven as well, and just survive. Your job is to survive the Ubers. And when that Uber ends, you want to be the one calling who's landing on point. That should be your job. You can land on the rim here and try to splash it off a little bit. But it's your job to watch the point. Your demo will put chucking stakes on it. Your scouts are trying to clean people up on point. Your job is to contest the point. And it's also important that you do call which soldier is going to test it. So normally if I'm playing soldier, if I do ever play soldier, I'll say I'm bombing point or something, or I got point. And I'll call it if I can't watch point, like ask the other soldier. Always communicate saying who can do what. Where should the demo be standing for last? Demo should be up in left heaven. Or right heaven, I guess. Right heaven. It's right heaven or left heaven. It's kind of a preference thing. You're welcome to switch it up and whatever do what. Most of the time, whatever side they take the Uber into, so if you're playing left heaven and they come in through 2 or 1 or 3, you can kind of just sit up here and chill. It's only when they start taking pressure on the sides, like they take 4 or 5, or they go through 3 and they just rotate all the way to the left side, you want to kite and go to the other side. You want to basically play sides. So just divide this map in middle, right side, left side. You want to be on whatever side the Uber is not on. You want to make sure you survive as long as possible until the Uber ends. And that way you can start trying to survive and do last. Again, flank scout. If you're playing flank scout, your job is to come up either heavy if it's like very bad disad, like you get rolled on mid and you're all on last. You might not have time for a gun, so you come up heavy, get the GRU equipped, and then just run out here and just try to hold the point off as long as you can. Make sure you do get a full buff for your medic if you are playing heavy. That is very important. Get to 450 and kind of survive as long as possible. As soon as you start getting like really spammed out, you have to back up and you have to reset. You can switch back to scout or something, or you can come up. But if you're playing engineer, I don't have a 6S config, so all my weapons are kind of unrestricted at the moment. So that's why you see me with Wrangler and stuff. You can set up a gun here, try to hold point. Again, as soon as your gun goes down at engineer, you need to switch off. Unless you have Frontier Justice Revenge crits, in which case you can kind of stay up a little bit, try to get some damage. Otherwise, switch off, come up heavy, come up back up scout, and just try to fight and hold the point off. Okay, and then we'll go over evens now. So evens positions are a little different. So no one's holding heaven. Nobody's going up there. Oh, cool. Someone special. Cool. Punch in the gut. All right. So demo is going to be holding 3. Your pocket soldier or your roamer. It's normally pocket soldier, but soldiers can switch if they need to. Pocket soldier watches 1 and 2. That usually revolves around sitting by like right around this doorway right here. Heavy already below 200. Arrow. Yeah, you can just arrow tanking your heavy is correct, Anchorman. It is a lot helpful because it's like a burst of 80 healing per second. And a lot of classes, they can't out damage that out, especially if you're fighting a demo man who's got no ammo or a scout. That is again, if they're running out of ammo, arrow tanking is really good because they can't out damage that. Alright, yeah, so pocket soldier, or normally it's pocket soldiers, sometimes roamers, they can chill here. Again, watch the doorways. You don't want to be the aggressive one, you want to just watch the doorways. You can peek here a little bit if they're getting close in 2, or roll out, and you're just going to pressure them back. Otherwise, you're kind of just holding those doorways. Again, demo is holding here. I'll go switch back to demo to show off that. But your roamer should be on 5 and 4. Mainly 5. 4, you really don't need to worry about it too much. But mainly your job is to hold 5 and watch that here. And then you don't have to play on the barrels. You can play back here a little bit. But your job is to make sure they just can't walk through 5 for free. And then flank scout. If it's evens, your job is to get up a gun. So gun would go typically right. I think it's on the left side of point here. Or guns on the right side. The goal of the gun for evens is to watch every single doorway. So make sure a soldier cannot get through to bomb your medic. That's the point of an evens gun. A disad gun is meant to watch the point. That's why gun spots are a little different on disad and evens. Like, I'll put a gun here or there on disad. That watches absolutely no doorway. If a soldier bombs my medic, they're gone. But it watches the point perfectly, and they have to go out of their way to hit it. So again, the whole point of an evens gun is just to watch doorways. So you normally put it in spots that watch the doorways. So like point right here is pretty good. just to make sure when soldiers do bomb, they're going to eat a sentry gun full of damage. And then if it's on you, typically your medic is going to hold here in dispenser spot, which is where the dispenser will go after your engineer gets a level 3 up, and you'll sit here chilling. Your job as medic is not to rotate to your players. Your players will rotate to you and come for buffs or call for arrows. So you're going to sit right here. You're healing your demo, healing your P-Scout. Your soldier's hurt. Okay, arrow him. Oh, your roamer soldier, your pocket soldier has crit heals. Your soldier can rotate a little bit over, and you can help him. You can like go here. Don't want to go too far, but your soldier has to come to you. Make sure players come to you instead of going to them. And then P-Scout, you can kind of do whatever you want. If it's a little weird. Most of the time, you're kind of sitting here watching. If you're playing P-Scout, wait till your gun's level 3 and set up in the proper spots before switching to an off class, in which case you can come up Sniper. If you want to be evil, you can come up Pyro, you can come up Heavy. Most of the time, you'll come up Sniper, and you'll try to counter peek through 5, but I don't really think I'm going to go over off classes too much. I'll go over at the end if I have time, but I kind of want to get these holds all done. But that is Even's hold. So any questions about last holds at the moment before I go over to breaking out? I know I really didn't cover demo too much. It's better put dispenser much closer to door 5. No. Dispenser will always, if not, always go here. It should always go here. Right in front of these vents by the frog. I never realized there was a frog there. That's pretty cool. Also, resupplying is also not that bad as you put it. So most people have something called a bandy bind or a reset bind, which if you get into spawn, you can just get in this doorway. You can press a button and you're fully reset. You have crit heals again. Your ammo's replenished. It's really useful. Everyone should get one. That's just it's a changed loadout bind. When will there be practice? Again, I don't know if you're part of the newbie cup, which is, I mean, you might have not signed up for it, or you couldn't make it. There are newbie pugs if you want to try that out for practice. If not, most teams will scrim, or you can find a team that does do scrims, and that'll be your main way of practicing. Okay. Last chance for questions before I discuss pushing out. Okay, I'm gonna go over now because I don't see anything typing in chat. Okay, so pushing out, there's really 2 safe ways of doing it. So the only way you're going to be doing pushing out is A, your team is ad and you want to push out, or B, you just wipe them and won the last hold. So if you won the last hold, you can kind of come out whatever doorway. Just keep track of players. If there's a scout alive, clear hiding spots. Make sure that scout cannot get in. Keep track of who's spawning in, who's not spawning in, where would people be. Wait, what is a keybind? A keybind is just something you have bound so you can do things. You know how W is bound to move forward? S is bound to move backwards. That's a keybind, if that's what it is. Oh, it's a... Let's go to my options just to showcase. It's load item preset A. Like, or preset B. Like, I have... Those will reset your loadouts. You know, I have a roamer loadout and I have a pocket soldier loadout. So I can just press a button and I'll be automatically on that. Or you can just get a killbind too. Killbinds are actually important for medic, which is weird. Sorry, need to reset time because it breaks it when I do my rollout thing. So yeah, if you do full wipe them, make sure everyone is clearing doorways. If there is a spawner alive, if everyone's wiped, you don't need to be careful at all. You just kind of get out here and then take control point and play second. Otherwise, if there is someone alive, make sure nobody gets through. You don't really need to leave someone on last most of the time. If you want to leave someone on last, it's typically your roamer. It's typically a soldier. Okay, why killbind on med? Killbinding is if you're caught out as med, you're guaranteed to die. It speeds up respawn. Yeah, thank you, Anchorman. It does come into play more often than you think, because again, you'll die faster, you'll be back better spawn weight, but again, not meta class, trying to get over process here. Because I know people have scrims, and I try to get this done as fast as possible, so I'm going to be a little bit more briefer with stuff going in forward. So if you have Uber, pushing out a lower is typically your best option, because, I mean, you don't have vision any doorway, it kind of all sucks, but lower gives you the best vision of anything, and then you can kind of just take space as much as possible, you can use into them, bomb over, and take them out of choke. But be mindful if they're playing passive, you can kind of take it for free, watch for back cap, you know, you can leave a roamer if you want on point. Otherwise, coming at its upper kind of sucks, because you have this wall in your way, which means you really can't see things, so you have to rotate all the way out here, and by that time, you know, they can already have spotted you and stuff. If you're coming out 2, the main thing bad about 2 is just the spam. It's a really tight doorway, so if a soldier... There is an edge bug spot right up here. Of course, I am bad, and I can't do edge bugs. But if I could do edge bugs, you can hide... A soldier can hide right up there, and they can just drop on you. Wall bug. Yeah, thank you. Sorry. Edge bug is something completely different. I want to... I kind of got stuck. Yeah, you can see me kind of getting stuck there. You can kind of hold up there and stay up there. And most people don't look up because we don't know when he looks up. One is also kind of safe. It does give you a sideline, but again, it's a shutter. It's kind of a bad idea in general to push out. So lower should always be your go-to, if anything. But again, make sure someone's clearing 1. Make sure someone's going through 2. Make sure all your doors are cleared when you push out. All right. I'm going to be a little bit faster on this to go over to just make sure we have enough time before scrim start at 8:30. So, just add second. Combo's going to be playing here. P-Scout, Medics, Demo. The Demo's going to have traps on the point. You guys are playing to leave. If it's disad, leave through 2. You can also leave through 1 if you want, but most of the time players will be standing by 2. 2 to leave. Just be careful. If you see a soldier coming in your face, it's your time to leave. Just because a soldier can pop you up and then you just die. And you do not want to die on last. Your flank players, again, just make sure you're playing doorways. Make sure your flank is alive. If you're disad second and you know it, your flank scout can go back and set up a gun. It's an idea, or if not, hold lower. Just make sure you're holding. Don't give up too much space for free. You want to kind of still have spam pressure, because you might get like good damage on the medic. But in most situations, if it's negligible disad, like your team's gonna get it when they go to last. It's like 80 to 100. Your team's gonna back up. They're gonna get for a last hold. One of your soldiers can chill up here on trapezoid and just bomb choke when they start walking through, and then try to get the medic to force. Otherwise, don't sack a player if it's like monumental disad, like you're a good 70 dis. Don't really sack a player. You want to have everybody up for that last hold. So everyone should be playing their life to leave. On an evens hold, which, both teams have Uber, you're going to be playing on the your combo is going to be here. Your Demo, Medic, Scout, P-Scout, they'll all be up here. Your flank is going to be watching this door, IT. Your flank scout will be on the floor here, watching from lower. Your roamer will be up here, watching from upper. And then you really just need 2 people invested on the door right here. Your pocket soldier will be normally chilling up here, is where I see a lot of pocket soldiers sitting on the pipe. This is just to pressure choke a little bit better. You can rotate out if you need to help your combo. But most of the time, you're going to be sitting here. Because if they send a sack in, then you can easily counter sack real quickly by jumping to choke and landing anybody who's trying to help pressure for the sack. Pretty much no one has any reason to go into sewers and hold here, unless, again, you want to hide in these 2 corners, which, again, sometimes it's a bad idea, but normally, again, pocket soldier are probably doing this. Or if your roamer wants to do it, just make sure you tell your scout that they're alone. Now, counter sacking is, again, they send their sack in. I'll go over sacking. I know I missed sacking on last, but I can go over that when pushing in and kind of pushing out, but sacking, you want to be quick. As soon as their soldier dies, your soldier needs to be ready to just go in. Of course, not mess up their jump, but most of the time you'll see soldiers, your team will walk up here, and your soldier will jump through like that, and try to get as far as possible, try to get their med to force. Otherwise, good rule of thumb for any combo player is never stand on the valley grass at all. This is death. Especially right here, this is really bad. If you get caught out here, you have a wall to your left, you have basically nothing to your right, you will get murdered. And that just goes, if you do not want to walk up too far, your Demo always wants to play up here. Your Demo can walk out a little bit, set up traps and choke, and then just back up. Do you want to always be playing on the platform? And then again, your P-Scout and your Medic, they're watching for bombs. They're just kind of waiting for things to happen, keeping your players healed. Don't really need to do too much. Okay, and I think that's it for second. And I'll go over pushing in a second. Any questions about second at the moment? Great. See one person typing. I'm gonna wait for that. I still go over trap spots while I'm waiting for it. Okay, I guess. Alright, trap spots, typically just watch out for traps here, traps in this corner here. You can put traps under this pipe, like right in this area here. You can put stickies there. That's gonna be really annoying. Watch for traps on this little thing. They can chuck it like right there. If I could get a melee swing on it like that, where my melee swing is, they can put traps there. Anybody walking up these things will die. Like right here, they'll die, and vice versa down here, traps. Sometimes you'll see cheeky players put traps on this wall, like right here. That way, if you walk in, you're not really looking at it. You just die if you touch point. And then watch if forward spawn's trapped. If you guys get rolled off mid, you already on mid, you get the forward spawns. Just make sure it's not trapped. And if it is trapped, back spawn. So pushing, you got really 2 ways of doing it. Most of the time, most teams will take it through choke. That should be the way you're kind of focusing on pushing through. So normally you have your pocket soldier. They're going to go in through. They're going to go first. They're going to take space. They're going to clear things. They're going to make sure there's no traps. And if there are traps, they're going to call it for your scout to clear. That should be another thing you're mindful of. Okay, I can go over pushing IT in a second. That's not... You mean like pushing into IT or pushing out of IT to mid? Like pushing... Like you're trying to send players through IT to their second. Be a little... Pushing through second. Okay. I can go over that after going choke. So yeah, you just send a soldier in, make sure your soldier clears space, and then slowly start working your way into mid. If they're close, you can use in their face. If they're like playing really aggressive here on disad, just use into them and murder them. It's really free kills. If they're playing all the way back there, which they should be either A, by playing by choke, or B, playing there, that's when you want to that's when you want to not use them, play passively, and just walk in for free. Now, pushing from IT, it kind of sucks. I will give you that. It's really a tight doorway. The main reason you push through IT is to avoid a sniper sightline. Now, again, I mentioned why sniper, because sniper's not really run for things. Well, forward spawns here. If you own second, you get these forward spawns. So the main thing a lot of people do is on scout, they'll come up sniper in that forward spawn. As soon as the med walks through here, they'll get body shot and die immediately. So that's like the main reason you would ever want to push through IT into mid. Or I think I have it backwards. Push through second from IT. Okay. Unless I do it backwards. Either way, I'll cover it. So another thing you have to worry about is you got to be really quickly with this. You typically have a soldier go through choke at the same time, try to take high ground control, and then you can have your team kind of roll out through second at the same pace. And again, you can kind of catch people off. If you rotate left fast enough, you can kind of get them in choke. Otherwise, really, you're going to have to take it slow. Sewers kind of sucks. It's a shutter. Shutters suck in general because demo can have traps on it, and you have no clue if they do or not. You traps on the outside. As soon as you walk through demo deaths, you die. Okay. So, miss disad for mid, as I mentioned. If you're playing disad here, you're playing behind a rock, ready to leave. You're playing by IT, ready to leave, and that's basically it. You really don't want to play by sewers, because the main thing about sewers is it's cut off from everything else. So if you're leaving from sewers, they can kind of just roll choke and still collapse on you. Gotta reset the time. No, sewer is not a better option if they run sniper. Because this doorway, they can just look at it. If someone can spot from here that they're rotating sewer, your sniper can just adjust the dot here. If they do have a sniper, you normally send your soldier through. You can send your soldier through sewer, but your soldier's job is to just hold this door if they do have a sniper, and make sure they don't peek at all. So like you can send a soldier through, but really you don't want to send your combo through this door or through sewers, in my opinion. A scout been discussed yet? Depends what you mean by scout. I've been going over all the scout stuff. I guess for pushing through with scout, again, your combo will lead you through something. Your flank scout will come through another doorway. Typically, you don't want to go with the combo. Really, 4 players at most with the combo, and that's your P only, P scout, demo, med. Your flank scout can come through a different doorway and take space, like through IT or through sewers, or be like a little late to the party. All right. Disad. Again, trying to speed this up. I got 10 minutes before 8:30 scrims. Hopefully, we're not too late. Disad, you're planning to leave through here. Now, this is the point where you can sack a soldier and it's be okay. So, if it is disad, one of your soldiers, typically your roamer, will be playing to kill the medic or force the medic if they have Uber. If it's evens, you guys are going to be holding much closer to them. So, evens is your turn to have fun. Evens is your flank watches this. Typically, it's your flank scout. Your flank scout, you don't need to play aggressive here. You can just chill here, peek them, make sure they're not shoving you. If you want to play aggressive, you can shove it. But coordinate that with your main caller and your roamer. Demo scout med, your guys are chilling here. Your demo's kind of peeking for damage. Your scout's kind of just making sure the stickies are cleared here. If the enemy demo is chucking stickies here, just make sure they're not in the way at all. And then your roamer can kind of do whatever, or your P soldier can watch sewers. You really don't need to do too much in sewers. Just make sure no one's in it hiding. Now, sacking is the fun part we get to do now, because we have add and then we own the middle point. So during a sack, your entire team will create pressure. What I like to do is I will say I'm ready to, if I'm playing roamer, I will be ready in a doorway. I'm ready to sack, create pressure, call when you're creating pressure or something like that. It's like call when you're creating pressure. Your demo, your P scout, they'll start calling, hey, we're getting a bunch of pressure in and we're pressuring. then that point you want to go. Now, there's several walls you can go off of. Most of the time, some people go through choke and try to get like that. A lot of time, again, it's called Al-Qaeda for a reason. But soldiers will go off this, off the fence, and land all the way over here. There's a few more options you can do. You can kind of, your soldier can shove through here and try to get off this wall. And then there's another wall you can do, which is this wall if you don't want to use fence. You get pretty far. During this, you can also do a flank shove to create pressure on the flank. That way, you know, if less scouts worrying about it. So your roamer and your flank scout can start shoving IT at the same time you guys are pressuring. You want to get all eyes on different doorways other than your soldier. It is. I'm pretty sure that's why it was named Al-Qaeda, because it's just a good bomb spot. I don't know. I'm too new to the scene to understand why it's called that, but... Okay. And then, okay, as soon as your soldier dies for the sack, if the soldier forces the medic, back up a little bit. If the soldier drops the medic, you guys can walk forward if it's evens. If the soldier fails to do anything, your job is to back up as soon as he dies. You want to be holding a little bit further back, but make sure they're going to set a counter sack. So they're going to start wanting to pressure choke. They're going to start wanting to shove flanks. You want to make sure that cannot happen. And that's why, you know, you have two people watching here. You can have your flank scout sitting up top here and make sure they can't get through, or your roamer sitting up top here. Peace soldiers watching sewers, your combos watching choke. And it's when they send their player in, your demo needs to make sure he just watches choke. Like, do not even turn your back to worry about that soldier bombing over your head. That is not your job. Your scouts will clean that up. I don't know what the second word means, unfortunately, but Boston Basher is a very useful weapon. It's like the main thing what scouts run, or P scouts have to run it. Flank scouts can kind of run it unless they want to run Rap Assassin, unless Rap Assassin gets banned next season. Who knows? Okay. Oh, Uber farming with the Boston Basher. Yeah, that's literally the entire point of P Scout. You're going to be building Uber most of the time. Or when there's downtime, you want to be building Uber. I won't go over pressure cooking. Sorry, Chili, don't worry, this entire thing has been recorded. There's also plenty of other demo reviews online. I might not be as collective because I'm kind of improving my way through this. But don't worry, this will be recorded so you can rewatch everything. But you can also look up guides online too. And I do recommend looking up some stuff online as well to help you. Or like videos and stuff. So, yeah, there's also pressure cooking, which is when your team pressures sewer and you have someone go through choke or someone go through Al-Qaeda. Typically, your demo is going to be peeking this door, chucking stickies. Your flank scout will be through, or your P scout will be trying to do this doorway, trying to watch soldiers bombing. It's a little safer because they can't like immediately send a counter sack through choke. All they can do is really spam you out. But as soon as your player dies, it gets nothing for it. You guys gotta have to leave and rotate back to watching doorways. All right, just add a second. As mentioned, you're chilling here. There's no real point ever leaving IT. I mean, you can do it sometimes, but you want to be sitting here watching stuff. Again, if it's disad, your soldier can be sitting in a spot and playing to bomb the medic immediately. That can be what happens. Again, you can also use hiding spots. You can sit up here as a scout. Try to look for a back cap. If it's disad, you own second. Chill up here. You can try to send. You can also try to coordinate. If someone says they're going behind, stall second. Your soldiers and demo can bomb the point, make sure they don't get it, and try to stall for a back cap. I'm gonna pause for a second. If anyone has any quick questions, just type a letter in chat if you do have a question, and then type it out, so don't go too far ahead. Or there's the people, because again, I'm running low on time. But evens on second is basically the last state we'll ever be on, because evens on second means we need to push into last, and that's done typically by. Sorry, any message for tryouts. That's usually done by pressuring lobby. This is the main thing your combo will be pressuring. Your combo will be walking up in here. Your first goal for getting a sack successful is to make sure there's no gun. If there is no gun at all, you can already just send a sack in and just go on the medic wherever the medic is. If there's a gun, your team needs to coordinate getting that gun down. Normally you can peek a gun through 5 pretty well, but again, the soldier's going to be here sitting, trying to watch you, so you have to deal with him. Try to coordinate as many different spam angles as you can, like have someone spam through 5, try to peek 3 a little bit, try to peek 4, try to peek 2. You can even peek 1 sometimes, the one sight lines kind of suck. But you want to be coordinating as much pressure as you can on that gun. As soon as that gun goes down, whoever is sacking, your pocket soldier, your roamer, you need to go immediately get the medic. That should be your goal. If they have a heavy, sacking is still pretty free. Just watch where the heavy is playing, and try. If the heavy's playing right in the med, it might suck a little bit, but that's what you do. Again, same thing what happens in a second. Your soldier gets nothing. You back out. You watch the doorways. Make sure they can't send a counter sack. Counterstacks will most likely come through the lower door here or come through 2. If they are counterstacking, they'll try to bounce off this wall. Demo can trap this pretty easily. If not, they have to jump off this wall, which kind of sucks too. Alright, so yeah, I guess I can go off a little bit. But yeah, so one doorway kind of sucks. If it's this ad, you guys have ad, you guys want to pick a doorway and take it. That should be your main goal if you do have ad. Again, 30 ads typically what you want to use. You can do 20 if you're a little faster, but 20 ad, your entire goal is to kill the medic. So you're taking ad until ad. Which doorway do you choose? You got 5 options. First option is we eliminate 2 completely because 2 is terrible. It's way too choky to do anything useful. 1 is good only if you want to go really quickly because you have to kind of use right here because otherwise the spam will be way too much. If they are down explosives, though, 1 is a pretty good door because you're in a little faster and you can take space in their left side and you have pretty much left control immediately. And again, the stuff is switched. So that's like left nest, that's left heaven, and that would be right heaven over there. So all the doorways are switched now. It's still 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 though, but left spawn now instead of right spawn, which would normally be on your side. Oh, sorry, Tycho. I can try to look over it. Pushing second, So you're pushing second through ad. I know I'm taking a break from last. Sorry, I'm a little uncoordinated. But if you're trying to push second, you're sending typically a double scout through here. You're trying to rotate up as fast as possible here. If it's this ad, you want to take this. It's pretty good. Otherwise, mid kind of sucks because again, everyone's gonna rotate over here and look at you. So if you push through, you have to basically run to 2. That's your entire goal. Run to 2, try to get them in this doorway, and try to just force them out. But again, your whole point of the sewers or pushing IT is you're gonna get spotted. Because it's this giant doorway that a flank scout's watching. If you don't get spotted, it's great. But most of the time, you will be spotted.
Mission ends in 30
Sorry, gotta
seconds.
no clip my way. Alright. Okay. So back on pushing doors. Typically, your main doors you want to push through are 3 and 4. 3 and 4, if your demo, when you send your demo in, demo should jump to left heaven or right heaven, depending on wherever they're holding. And that should bring me another point. One of your scouts should spot information for you before you take an Uber into them. You can have your flank scout do it. You can have your P scout do it. You should know at least something. You should know, do they have a heavy? Do they have a gun? Do they have a heavy? Do they have a gun? Where's their combo standing? Make sure that's all figured out so before you take it in, because that helps with decisions. If you're jumping in through 3 and their combo's in right heaven, excuse me, you want to... It's going to be bad because your demo is going to jump all the way over here and have no one to kill. So make sure that is figured out. But again, demo does typical jump in here. And then if you want to take it 5, 5 is the door you want to milk the Uber through, which is just you hold the Uber as long as possible, and then you get through the doorway and just try to take space. Mid-fights, your main caller should be calling which side to end on, calling where to end on. That should be another important fact. Call where to end the Uber. Because that's the side you're going to be playing on. Your soldiers, your soldiers will take space, try to do things, try to take high control, your demo can lock out of spawn. In the Uber as well, your P scout should be the one edging the point. That's also your P scout's job. Your medic can unflash your scout and play the point. And flash the scout if needed. Your soldiers will be trailing a little bit behind the Ubers. But their first job is someone needs to knock the stickies off the points by shooting a rocket at it, and then you can play like a height side or bomb into them. Basically. And then same with your flank scout. Your flank scout should be coming in right before the Uber ends, but not like as the Uber ends. I know I am running out a little bit of time. So again, if anyone has any broader questions, I know I really didn't help too much, or I had to make this a little fast-paced because I wasted too much time. But I think I have about everything. Trying to think if there's anything else I need to bring up. With Ubers, make sure your flank is pushing different doorways. That's also pretty useful. Like, you take an Uber through 4 or 3, your flank can come through 1 or 2, or someone can come through 5 and play that side and try to surprise them. Just make sure you can... If they're backing up into spawn, and if it's evens and they're disrespecting you by playing up there, you guys have so much space to work through. You guys can, like, start pressuring out here a little bit more. You don't need to fear as much. And it's also important to play around your cap time, too. If you start getting a lot of cap time on point, your demo can start trapping off a little bit of point, trapping off the waste to point. But again, soldiers' job. Soldiers will be bombing you, so you just need to be careful of that. Make sure people don't get on rim and spam you down. Okay, I think that's all the chaotic ramblings I have and can do, because I think you guys have to get to scrims if you are playing in Newbie Cup. So again, I'll leave the floor open to any questions. I'll try to answer them. Otherwise, you guys are free to go. And if you have any questions, if I missed something, or if you want to know a little bit more about something, I'm happy to answer. And you can also reach out to your coaches about this too if you need any extra help.